Perfect. Yay. All right. Welcome, everyone. It is Monday, right? So what do we do on Mondays? We meet up for Insights with Alicia. Woohoo, 7:00 Arizona time. And this is the beginning of season 2. So we get together for Insights with Alicia. Every week we gather to learn and connect. I often say things and people always want to know more about it. They love the insight from the scientific psychic. So there are so many things that I've experienced that have transformed my life. I love sharing these insights to help everyone, not just my clients. I talk about relationships, our behavior, life skills that will literally change your life, and other tools and ideas to support all the changes that we want to make. And let's not forget about the animals. I talk about them too. For those of you who don't know me, I am Alicia Sweezer, owner of Who Knew Healing. I'm an intuitive life coach, intuitive mentor, animal consultant and communicator, psychic medium, and I provide healing and growth opportunities for people and animals. Oh, my nose itches. For those of you listening as a podcast on Spotify or Apple or any of the other platforms, welcome. If you'd like the video version of this, please visit my YouTube channel under Alicia Sweezer, or even better, join us live on Monday nights. I would love to have you. And those of you watching on Facebook, if you'd like to comment in the chat, please join us through the Zoom link because I'm not able to see the Facebook comments right now. So thank you so much for joining in. Everybody's here. Like I said, I hope you were having a good holiday, even if it was quiet. So many people were going out. We had a ton of fireworks around here. And so I hope it's been an interesting holiday season for a lot of people, a lot of ups and downs. Not that that's unusual for holiday season, just seems to be the ups and downs were a little bigger than usual this year. So hopefully you have weathered it relatively well and you're still coming out on the other side. And I'm thrilled to have you here. Hopefully you have something fabulous to drink. This is what's funny is I do not have my drink, my water. And I thought about this earlier. I said, make sure that you get your water so that you have it, so that you won't think you have to get up in the middle of it, which I'm not going to do. But I do know that I often drink it because I do a lot of talking when we're on here. And look at what I did. I manifested that. I manifested forgetting my drink. I think it's in another room. I don't even know where it is. Usually so prepared, but I thought about it and then I thought about it to fix it and I ended up doing it anyway. So that cracks me up a little bit. It's one of those instances where you ever think about something, whether you view it as bad or good, and then it happens, right? And then you're like, oh, did I manifest that? Or was it my intuition letting me know that it was going to be happening, right? Like a premonition. And so for those of us who are really into our psychicness and our intuitiveness, we look at those sometimes we're like, ooh, and you got to ask some questions around it sometimes to see which it was. Sometimes it's both. It's pretty funny. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so thrilled to see you all. Thank you for joining. What are we going to talk about tonight? Tonight, we're going to talk about, of course, New Year's resolutions, because that is what we all talk about this time of year. I know it's Monday and the holiday was the other day, but this is what the universe said to talk about. And I even argued a little. I was like, it's going to be after the day, and it didn't care. So it didn't give me any other inspiration or direction of things to write about when I wrote this a few days ago. And I was like, okay, I just know enough to do what it says, what the universe says to do. So it was pretty funny. So do you guys set New Year's resolutions? It was always so interesting for me because even as a kid, I never understood the purpose of a New Year's resolution, or at least the waiting to a particular day to make that change in your life. For me, it was always like, well, if something is important to you, why are you waiting? Because I would, some people start to talk about New Year's resolutions like in October. And I would think, well, why not now? Like, what, why not? Why not now? So it's one of those things that's very much up in our society right now. And so we're going to talk about it. And I totally understand, right? The wanting to get all the good stuff in before the change, right? Like eating all of the Christmas food and the candy before we go on a diet. And I want to do this. If it's too hard, then I won't, because there's a couple of pictures. I kept seeing these comics and I kept saving them because I was like, oh, these are so perfect and funny for what we're going to be talking about tonight. So I'm going to do share my screen here. And so this one right here, I'm going to describe it for the people that are listening. If you want to see it, please watch the video, or it'll be in this week's blog on Wednesday. I'm going to put all the pictures in there too. So this one is an old couple sitting on the couch. One's eating a whole box of candy. The other one's eating chips, and there's, pop cans and wine bottles all over. And it says, hurry, our New Year's resolutions start in 10 minutes. Right. And it's so funny because I was like, yeah, that's kind of how we view it. And then there's another one here, and this one fits a little bit later, but I don't want to go back and forth for sharing the screen. And it's two dogs sitting, and one says, what exactly is a New Year's resolution? And the other one says, it's a to-do list for the first week of January. And we all know those people, right? We know the gym is packed this week. We know it because everyone has such good ideas, and they want to make these changes. And there was another one I saw on Facebook, and it was like day one was the picture of a guy like all in his workout gear and going to the gym or getting ready to go to the gym. And then like day two was him like standing at the front door looking out. Day three was him laying on the couch. And day four was him laying on the floor in front of the TV. And so it struck me as funny. I thought it was hysterical. So I get that those are sometimes how we view New Year's resolutions, right? And what we're going to talk about tonight is the energy that's underneath it and the intent behind it. Because if you don't achieve or stick with, whatever your measurement is of your resolution, what's underneath will circle back and bite you. And we can feel bad then in multiple ways. Sometimes we don't even know why. Now, I know that's not something I want. Pretty sure it's not something you guys want either. So the other really cool thing that has happened is the consciousness around this concept of resolutions has also shifted into the other camp of setting intentions for the year or goals, which have a different energy to them. And the truth is we still want to look at what is underneath and what's driving it, because we can call something anything, but if what's happening behind it is not clean, as you guys always hear me say, then the outcome will be the same. So, okay. So let's circle back to resolutions. What are the usual ones we hear? I need to start working out. I need to lose weight. I need to stop smoking, drinking, whatever vice you believe you have. I need to stop spending so much money. I need to start saving money. And the list goes on, right? And a lot of times these are statements without actual follow through created to support them. Right? They're just things we make and we throw out there because we're like, oh, we know we're supposed to make New Year's resolutions. Like this is what our society does. And, people will even ask you if you're out in the world, what's your New Year's resolution? And nobody likes not having an answer, right? So people will just, even if they don't, it's not something they want, they'll create one and then they'll use it to judge themselves. It's always so fascinating to me what we do as humans, right? So here's the thing, when we talk about these, we'll say traditional New Year's resolutions, is that there's usually an energy underneath that something is wrong with us, that's why we're making this change. And even the word resolution means, right, the act or process of resolving. What do we resolve? Problems, right? And when we see something as a problem, we see something that is wrong and something that needs to be fixed. And resolutions also have an energy of sacrifice to them, the having to give something up instead of it being a choice. And what happens if we break our resolutions? We judge ourselves on so many levels, right? So statements can look like, I didn't keep my resolutions. So the thought in your head is, I suck at commitment. What's wrong with me? I can't even keep my resolutions. How am I going to ever X, Y, Z? What is wrong with me? We extrapolate and seriously project into the future with these kind of things. I can't even keep it for 2 weeks. I'm weak. I have no willpower. What is wrong with me? Now, I get that you may not be saying that second part out loud, and I know that those thoughts exist. I've even had a few of those myself in the past, not around New Year's resolutions, because I've never been one to make them, but we all have had that thought of what's wrong with us. So when someone goes on a diet, it's usually because they don't like the way they look in their clothes. They think they'll get a partner. They think that people will like them more. They don't like what they see in the mirror, right? Et cetera, et cetera. There's a whole $1 billion diet industry built on this. It's all about something they don't like. You feel the energy of that? It even has the sense of when I do X, then I will be happy. And we know that never turns out the way that we think it will. And the cool part is that's okay. We get to start somewhere. We get to start. Doesn't matter where we are. So let's take a big deep breath. And let's shift that to, we're just using this diet resolution as an example here for this evening. So let's shift that to, instead of I need to lose weight, I'd like to make a change in my body. You feel the difference in that? You feel the expansiveness? There's nothing wrong with your body. You'd like to make a change. I'd like to make a change so that I'm more comfortable. I'd like to make a change so I can move with greater ease in my body. I want to make a change in my body so that I have the ability to do the things and the activities that I want to do. I want to make a change in my body so that my body has a chance to heal and realign itself. I'd like to make a change in my body so I can enjoy eating again. Right? There's so many times when we're not liking our body or what we're looking that, food really becomes the villain. And then we don't enjoy when we're eating. And from an energetic perspective, like look at what that starts to do to your body. If you're having all this negativity when you look at the food, where do you think that energy goes when you then eat the food, when you then ingest it? It goes in. Like I even am super sensitive to the people, like if I'm at a restaurant or drive through or something and people are making my food, I get really, really challenged when the people that are making my food are in a bad mood or don't like their job, because I know that's in my food. So I have to clear it and do all this stuff because I'm going to absorb that. And so just look at the difference in the energy behind that. So you feel how different it is, because the truth is there isn't anything wrong, quote unquote, right, with us. We are not inherently wrong. And we've been taught very differently. I mean, heck, has anyone ever said to you, what's wrong with you? I've had that said to me a lot of times. Why did you do that? What's wrong with you? What are you doing? What's wrong with you? Why did you choose that? What's wrong with you? And so, it's this whole thought process. And oh, yay. So someone wrote in the chat, wow, great shift in how to approach something, especially weight loss. I'm so thrilled that this is hitting home and making sense. Like you guys always know, I'm always afraid that I write this and it's in my head. And then when I say it to other people, it might not make sense. So thrilled that this is resonating. So yay. So when we are making choices and we are doing it from a place of wrongness, consciously or unconsciously, we are destroying ourselves before we even begin. Now, here's the thing. I thought it was interesting when I wrote the word destroying here. And I even checked with the universe because the human in me was like, whoa, that is a strong word. And the universe said, damn right it is. And it matches what we're talking about here. So when that came out, I was like, and I think it's true. We're destroying ourselves before we even start, when we come from a place that there is something inherently wrong with us. And the truth is that there's not. We're taught that, but there isn't. It's one of the main things I work on with my clients is they don't even know that they have this inherent sense of wrongness just for freaking existing. So, as we all know, it's all about choice and how we view things, right? Perspective. And here's an example of that. It's just from my life example or experience, right? That's what we talk about on Monday nights. Is years ago, I was very sick and my body was completely shutting down. Like it was, it was a one direction sort of thing. And I happened upon a new type of doctor who changed everything that I was doing. She completely changed my diet, which was pretty good back then. I ate really well, but it still got turned upside down. I gave up gluten, dairy, sugar, including fruit, any processed food, and a lot of my favorite vegetables. I was basically eating meat, a few types of veggies, and like quinoa. I wasn't allowed very many grains. And I did this all at once, completely cold turkey. And I was the only one in my household that did it. So I was still cooking food for my ex, regular food, all that kind of stuff, and having it around, which ended up not being a big deal. So, but I did it all cold turkey. And people used to ask me all the time, how can you do that? Isn't it hard? Don't you miss things? And here's the thing. The truth is that it wasn't, because it was a choice. And nobody made me do it. I was choosing to heal my body. And that was it. That's a complete sentence. There wasn't anything beyond that. I didn't see it as I was giving anything up. I wasn't sacrificing. I was making a different choice. And we talk about this all the time on here, right? Choice is what empowers us. Choice is where the freedom is. And so those thoughts and behavioral patterns simply didn't exist. And I totally understand how from the outside, it would look like a really, really hard thing to do. You know what I mean? Because it was a massive change, and it was a lot to shift at the moment to not have. And especially even like fruit, right? Fruit's good for you. No fruit. It was like 6-8 months before I could have fruit. And then I had an apple, and it was like the best apple ever in my world. It was like a whole Adam and Eve thing, right? The apple. So, but the truth is it wasn't hard, because it just simply didn't exist, because I didn't come from the point of view of I was giving something up or I couldn't have something. I was choosing option A, and I was fully choosing myself and option A, which was to heal my body. So the things like sacrificing and being a victim to something were not present. There wasn't, and this is the part, right? I'm going to say this stuff, and I just wish you guys could really feel the energy of this, because there wasn't anything to fight against. And that's so much where the struggle comes from when we're making any type of change. Is one, if we are thinking from the perspective of I'm having to give something up, we've now created a separation of being in the victimhood because I have to do something. This is something that happened to me, right? We're not seeing us as an empowered choice. I'm having to do it. And it's a sacrifice. I can't have something. So now there's a villain, right? Now there's an opponent. And now that internal struggle goes on. And we don't ever talk about that part, because we just view it as, oh, I don't have enough willpower. Oh, I'm just not strong enough. And the truth is if we back it all the way back up to, what choice did you make? Did you choose sacrifice and victimhood? Or did you choose something lighter? Did you choose something in alignment? I almost swore a whole bunch there. Did you freaking choose yourself? Because that's the difference here. You choose yourself, there is no villain. There's just you. There's nothing to fight against. And it looks like, I want this, I will have this. This is how I get this. So for me, it was healing my body. And this process still serves me today, and it's one I teach people. And so, right, it's that inner war that I'm talking about. It looks like, well, I want the cookies, but I can't have the cookies because I need to lose weight, but I want the cookies. And that goes back and forth. There's no winner in that. There's no lightness. There's no outcome from that inner war that brings you peace and happiness. And as a result, brings you weight loss, or at least consistent weight loss. That will bring you yo-yo shit, which will make you freaking insane and keeps you back in this inner war. Oh, it's because I had the cookie. I have to start all over. And I know we're talking about diet here because it's just a really easy, good example with this kind of stuff, but it works in any situation in your life. And so choice is what really, really gives us the freedom and the empowerment around that. And this inner war, oh, it's such an energetic drain. Talk about hidden drama, right? This isn't even that hidden, but we're walking around having that conversation, in our head constantly. Oh, I'm having lunch with friends. Oh, I can't have what I want to have. I can only have the salad because I need to lose weight. Like so much. Like, do you feel how much that is? And when you make the choice of, no, I just want something to be different. And so I'm going to choose different. That's it. I know that it sounds crazy, and people will say it can't be that simple. It is. I promise you, I've done it. It is. And I've done it many, many times. Many, many times. So it's this place of when we choose from what we want to have instead of what we believe we can't have, it changes everything. Could I have eaten sugar? Could I have eaten fruit? Could I have eaten flour pasta? Yeah, Absolutely. No one forced me. Like there was no one with a gun to my head going, oh, you better not eat that apple. There was no forcing. I wasn't a victim. I was presented with information and I chose. No victim. So sugar or gluten or flour or dairy doesn't have any power over me because I contained all of my power within myself when I made the conscious choice to choose me, to make a choice of alignment. And as I was saying, when we believe we are sacrificing or doing something from a place of victimhood, we hand over our power. I have to work out because I want to be healthy. No, you don't have to do it. No one's forcing you. I have to give up smoking. No, you don't. Once again, no one's forcing you. That have to is the victim energy. If you shift that to, I choose to exercise because I could do more activities that I like when I work out. That's different. You feel the difference in that? I choose to not smoke because I like how my body feels when I don't smoke. I like that my breathing is easier. It's a completely different thing. And it changes the energy of the entire experience. And the really cool thing is that when we fully consciously choose something, like I was saying, we keep our power and it creates and continues to create more in our life because the vibration is higher. We're doing it consciously and we're creating from that place. So you guys know me, I'm 100% in favor of continuing to grow. This is all about how we choose our path, right? So that's my soapbox spiel on resolutions. It's my 2 cents. So what do we mean when we shift resolutions to intentions or goals, right? Well, first off, feels so much better. You know how I talk about words have power, and these words have a higher vibration than the word resolution. And when I look at the word resolution, it has a finiteness to it. It's completely done. There's no space for growth. It's resolved. Like that's it. Intentions and goals have an expansiveness to them. There's room for us in there. And resolutions have an energy of being outside of ourselves, whereas intentions have the energy of being created from us. I'm looking at the, oh, good. Yay. I'm so thrilled. So people are saying in the chat that they've, been thinking about hitting the gym and this shift in the perspective of how to look at it is helping so much. Yay, yay, yay. I'm so excited. Okay. So what is the process of setting intentions? We get very clear what it is we are wanting to shift. Here's the thing. This is what makes it real and tangible and not something outside of ourselves floating around in the ethers, right? Our human part of us likes that tangible part because then it knows what to, and I'm going to say the do word, it knows what to do with it. And what I mean by that is it knows how to process it. Okay, I want this. So like for me, right, if I was using the body thing, I want to feel better. Okay, when you do that, then options to feel better pop up. Options that are higher vibration, options that are a match to you. So we do what are we wanting to shift? The next step is we get very clear on why we are wanting to shift it, right? Which is what we were talking about before. If we notice it's coming from a place of lack, victimhood, sacrificing, etc., we do the inner work to shift that. If you don't know how to do that, I can help with the inner work. That is what I do. Okay. Then next, we start to spend time creating the how. This is done from a place of being, not doing. We open the how to the universe, source, whatever language you use, and also we're a part of it. So we visualize what it looks like to have what we're intending. What does it feel like to have what we're intending? We ask questions, pray, whatever your process is, for inspired actions that help us move forward in our intention. So if your intention is to make a change in your body, you visualize, you feel in your body what it feels like to be able to go do the activities you want to do. What does it feel like to be able to climb a flight of stairs and not be out of breath? What does it feel like to be able to play a sport or take your dog for a walk and not be tired before your dog, right? Like we get into the experience of it, and that's where we get to create from. And then the last step is we then choose to follow the inspired actions that are delivered to us. So what that can really look like, short example here is what? I intend to make a change in my body. Why? So I can be comfortable and move in my body with ease, so I can participate in more activities, so I can wear my favorite clothes because my body loves my favorite clothes. How? I'm going to tune into my body and ask it what it would like to make this shift. Feel how different that is? If it's exercise, what type of exercise? Because there's so much of this that is just done unconsciously. And I've got a graphic I'm going to share at the end here to show you the difference in this. If it's a change in what I eat, what changes and what food? If it's supplements, what supplements? I'm going to see this shift as if it's already done and what it feels like in my body. Like I was saying, I'm going to visualize doing the activities I thoroughly enjoy doing. And lastly, I'm going to follow through on the inspired actions my body gave me. Listening to the inspired, intuitive actions that are given to us, the information given to us from our body, not a place of doing of like, oh, I have to go do this. It's what everybody else does. No, place of being. So my intention in choosing this subject for tonight was to shine a light on an action that is a staple in our society and see what we can create beyond that, to see how you can grow and expand in whichever way is a match for you, to grow in a way that is fun and kind and a contribution to you, to grow in a way that will contribute or that will continue to give to you and not destroy you from the start. And also, most importantly, if you don't set any intentions for the new year, that is 100% perfect as well. There's so much judging that goes on in that. Sometimes getting through the day is all that is required from us. Sometimes that's all that we can do. We're like, you know what? I made it through the day. I got out of bed. I got showered today. Sometimes that's enough. And it's whatever works for you. It is never about setting aspirations that aren't a match for you, right? That's the old unconscious way. This isn't a place to measure or judge ourselves. It's a place that if we choose to pick a direction and stay focused in that direction. Okay. That was a lot of information in a very short time. That is all for tonight. I know I spoke a lot about talking to your body and asking it questions. If that is new to you, or if it's something you don't know how to do, talk to your body, I can teach you. Any person can learn. And if you have any thoughts in there of like, I can't do it like everybody else. Guess what? I'm your person. Because when I was learning to talk to my body, everyone that was learning it with me at the same time, I couldn't do what they were doing because of my head injuries. Like all of the things, the muscle testing and all the other techniques that they were using, I couldn't do. I have shitty balance. So and I have a really strong brain, as you all have also, and I have really strong energy, for lack of a better word. So I can overpower, I can, I have a pendulum. I use it for one thing because I overpower those kind of things. So I had to learn a different way to talk to my body. And I was scared in the beginning. I struggled because I was like, oh, it's never going to happen. I'm never going to be able to do this. I can't do the stuff that everybody else does. And then one day, bam, just like that. I was like, oh, wait, she's talking to me. Oh, we want to do this. Oh, we want to. Okay. Now, do I always remember to talk to her? No. But do I most of the time? Yeah. There are times, even if I'm going somewhere or I have to go out and I'm like, I don't even know what I want to put on. I remember like, body, what do you want to wear? And she shows me like, and I'm like, okay, we're going to wear this shirt and these pants. I mean, my own doctor now, like he was my first mentor. And it's so funny because when I go to him, if we have to change my medicines or my supplements, or even when he's doing acupuncture, like I'm telling him where to put the needles, or he'll hold up the medicines. And sometimes I have to hold them depending like the bottles. A lot of times they don't. And I'm like, that one, not that one, that one. Because my body will tell me. And like I said, I had to learn in a completely different way than most people learn out there. So it is a massively helpful tool to be able to talk to our bodies. As you can see, I get really passionate about it. And because it can really, really make a change and a difference in our life, because we're walking around in it, right? Why not partner with it consciously? Why not? Because I spent years dragging her around, and there are days I still drag her around without asking if that's what she wants. And so, and when we're not listening, our bodies will get really, really loud and show up in a way so that we do listen. So if your body is telling you quietly that you need to rest and you're not listening, guess who then has a cold or a flu and spends 3 days on the couch? Because you didn't, and this isn't a judgment. We've all done it. Like, we don't listen to our body. And she's like, well, she or he's like, I'm going to take care of it on my own. Then I'm going to drive the car and I'm going to make this happen. So, and it's so cool because talking to our bodies, I know we're kind of getting off topic here, but it's just, I don't know. I think it's important is it doesn't always give us the information that we think we're going to get. So gosh, this was years ago now. I was like coming down with a cold or the flu or something. It was winter, right? And I was in the grocery store and I was like, okay, body, what is it that you need? And of course, right, my logical brain is like, I need to get orange juice. I need like as much vitamin C as possible. Like, right, all of these things that the world says you're supposed to take and use when you're getting sick. And she was like, look, I want apple juice and I want ice cream. And I was like, what? No. I probably look like a freak talking to myself in the grocery store. Cause at least I can fake it when Pip's around here. When I talk to myself, at least it looks like I'm talking to the cat. When I'm out in the world, I still talk to myself. And I was like, no. I mean, apple juice, fine. I'll get you apple juice. We are not having ice cream. And she was like, I want ice cream. And I was so attached because at this point, and this was years after like the other body thing I was talking about when I'd given up sugar and everything. I'd gone back to eating sugar years later. And, but at this point I hadn't eaten sugar in like 6 months, and not for any other reason, except I hadn't been craving it. But I made that mean something. And I had an argument with my body in the aisle, the ice cream aisle in an Albertsons. And I was like, we have not had sugar in 6 months. I am not going to break my streak because you want ice cream. And my logical brain was saying, well, you don't eat sugar and ice cream when you're sick. Like, everybody knows that, right? So I finally stopped arguing and just listened. And it was so funny too, because the type of ice cream that she wanted was not even my favorite. Right. So then I had to do processing around that. I'm like, oh, I'm going to eat calories and they're not even my favorite calories. Right. It's hysterical because we make this stuff mean so much in our human form. And it was butter pecan ice cream, which I like, but it wasn't no mint chocolate chip. Right. And so I came home, drank a whole bunch of apple juice, ate the little, container of ice cream, woke up the next day, was fine. And I was like, son of a bitch. She was right. So our bodies can really tell us a lot of stuff. So if one of your intentions is to make changes in your body, please invite your body into the conversation. That is really what this is about. Okay. And I want to pop this up here just so I have it on camera. I'm going to share my screen again. Like I said, this will be in the blog, but I want to put it on here because I really think that it's important. And I did a side-by-side. These were more. So I did this side-by-side so you could really see the difference between resolution and intention. And I used the diet, the lose weight example. And on the left, it says, like what we think when we're looking from the resolution perspective, and on the right versus the intention perspective. And I just wanted this graphic on the video for people to really look at and be able to see. So like right under resolution, it says I need to lose weight. Under intention, it says I'm going to make a change in my body. And then kind of the things that we talked about. But I just wanted people to have a visual of this so they could look at it, take their time versus trying to write it down when I was saying all of this. And like I said, this graphic will be included in the blog, which will come out Wednesday. So you'll be able to see it there. And just of course, I think it's a really good example, right? Because I created it of like, yes, here's how this is why it looks different. This is how we walk through this. So I'm going to stop that there so that it's on camera. Okay. So yes, that is all for this evening. I love that you loved hearing my experience there about my body and my funny, important and goofy stories. That's usually how my stuff happens. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. I had a great time as always. This is one of my favorite things is to connect with you guys. I will see you again next Monday. It'll be interesting to see what what we talk about. There's been a couple of, I saw something yesterday and it got me really fired up and I was like, oh, I need to talk about that some more. And then there's another thing that kind of had the same thing where I was like, oh, so there's 2 or 3 things that are kind of percolating. So we'll see what the universe directs me as to pick for next week. And the expectations, you know, because I know you guys asked for that, still on the table as well. Still on the table. So we shall see what comes up next week. And if there are people, as always, that you want to share this with, the video will be on the YouTube channel tonight under Alicia Sweezer. Subscribe, like, share, all of the things. The link is in the event listing. And, you know, if you like insights like this, either sign up for the blog or my email list. You get all this kind of really cool stuff. And thank you to everyone who does listen as a podcast or watches on YouTube, and especially everyone that shows up live. Favorite thing to do on Monday nights. Thank you to everyone who has donated to my Cosmic Tip Jar. It allows me to create more free things like this that I get to give to people. Anyone who feels led to do so, the links are in the event info. There's PayPal and Zelle and all the good stuff. And as always, if anything that I talked about tonight makes you want to learn more, reach out, book a session, schedule your free discovery call. Let's see what we can create together. So you guys have a great week. I will see you next Monday. I wish you so much for this next year, abundance and prosperity and amazing health and amazing love and relationships, whatever those look like, friendships, romantic, family, like, right? I wish all of that, and I intend all of that for all of you. And if you've made resolutions or intentions and you want to share them with me, please either do it on the YouTube video, send me an email, Facebook, like wherever it is. I always want to hear from you guys. And if this made sense or if it made a difference, I always want to hear that as well. So have a great night. I will see you next Monday. Have to wait a whole week to see you guys. All right. Take care. I will see you soon. Bye.